That's James's meal for today. That's mine. It's similar. That's Dime I Love, got top of the stack against all of these other things. And we're going to have a little bit of this on top of our meal, and that's a banana mandarin smoothie. James is having these as the noodles. So if you look at the carb, that's quite a lot of carb. And I'm having these konjac noodles, and you can see the carb, it's nothing, because 4 minus the 4 for the fiber, that's nothing. So there you go, no net carbs on my meal. Now let's see again if I have James in the shot, because I want him in there. I can get there, I can give me a little bit more room in the shot. And here is my lovely outfit for today. Isn't that wonderful? So I'm very happy about this, because as you can see, it's pretty tight, but it has a lot of material on the inside, so I can take it out if I get bigger, which is great, so I don't have to worry about that. And yeah, so I guess James can go ahead and talk about whatever he wants from this stack. We don't have to do it in order necessarily, but
let's start.
You want to start in order?
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
Dime I Love, go ahead with that.
I'd never want to watch it again. It's
Real downer.
but
Yeah.
it's good acting, good casting. You know, like, it's not often good. I'd have to say, I like the movie and I hated pretty well everyone that was in it. I don't know, you know, like the husband in this, so there's also some spoilers.
Yeah.
And the real resort.
Yeah, but
Wife has a
she has some
kid,
problems
and
too.
then he
you
brings
know.
home a problem dog.
Yeah.
Guys,
So,
don't bring home a
and
dog.
he's not there. He's not there.
I
like
know,
he's away
so she has to
work,
babysit
so
the dog.
She's the one
I've
caring for him.
watched.
Yeah, we used
like,
to watch
Tame
at the
Your
end of
Dog
my
or
leash.
Whatever,
Yeah.
And so often it should have been Tame My Husband or Tame Your Husband or whatever.
Yeah.
Because, you know, now this was a small dog in the show, but so often you'd see this big dog. The woman was responsible for the dog, the house, the kids, whatever. Don't do that, guys. What are you thinking of? You that do this, you know, like. Anyway, I don't know. Whose idea was it to have all the parties? I mean, this woman was, I'd say she's manic depressive, you know. It seemed as though she had something together. She was seeing things, but I guess manic depressive people can see things and stuff like that. Maybe she's schizophrenic, but she seemed more together than that. Had trouble with alcohol. I don't know. I mean, just a bad idea going to parties with her. No, she was nuts. Even not at parties, but like in control a little bit more. But I don't know. I don't know what to do about people who are. I mean, you could maybe talk to the guy and say, don't bring dogs home, don't take her to parties, stuff like that. But, you know, there's no real talking to people like her. She's, you know, Michel Foucault got it all wrong. Like, there are people who are nuts and crazy, whatever. What's the buzz term now? It's got to be at least 2 words now.
Yeah,
like off the rocker. How's that phrase? Okay. You know, I had a sister who had schizophrenia. She's dead now. She's dead in Washington. She took her meds, put on weight, lots of it. She ended up with a heart attack. A hot day in South Saskatchewan. But there were times when she had to be confined just to save her life. It's like, you know, my brother wrote a dissertation thesis on Foucault, and I think it's Foucault and Goodluck. You know, he finally said, you know, I don't know when my sister was, maybe 40 years ago. It was when she was pregnant. She was always somewhat unstable, but, you know, there are changes that happen with
Hormones.
And it seems sometimes to bring on schizophrenia, oftentimes parents that change of hormones that come with diagnosis. Anyway.
And substance abuse cannot help.
Yeah, my sister made the mistake of messing around with LSD. She was thinking of. Anyway, just it runs in families. You know, I don't know if anyone had it. They say if your parent has it, neither of my parents had it. There's a 50% chance of it. If a sibling has it, there's a 9% chance of having it. You know, I suppose some of you would love it if I were off my rocker or something like that. I can remember my sister saying, you know, after she had schizophrenia, we were raised on the Bible, and I was talking about Ahab and Jezebel, and all she said was, I can't concentrate. Okay. I know another guy really good at playing a musical instrument, so I asked him, he's schizophrenic. I actually diagnosed him from blocks away, based on his the way he held his head. A nice guy, very calm. I asked him if he could teach me guitar. He said, I can't concentrate. So folks, am I off my rocker? I'm schizophrenic. As I tell you, I can concentrate. I've taken any number of languages at university, any number of languages times 2 perhaps, on my own. And, you know, when I take languages at university with kids who are young enough to easily be my kids, some even my grandkids. And guess who's always first in class? You've got it. Always. Old geezer, you know, sleeps too much, whatever. Always first in class. First in show. Anyway, yeah.
Back to the show.
People have things like schizophrenia. They have things like manic, they can be manic depressive. The trouble with manic depressive people is they're destructive. It's bad enough that they're self-destructive. But very often, especially if they're guys, they are destructive of things and other people. So was she destructive of things? Of course. You know, you read Patty Duke's. I don't think it's I think actually it is. No, maybe it's Ghostwriter. It was, what's it called? The Fire, at the end of the Creative Fire or something. Anyway, Patty Duke, she was, did she play the young Helen Keller in the movie? And she had the Patty Duke show later on. I think it's supposed to be a comedy. It's a sad story. I mean, she had to take some steroids, and I don't think it was entry level, but it wasn't like the kind of steroids that I took. So in case you think you're manic depressive, I've taken super doses of steroids. No, it's not my choice. You know, I don't do it for fun. It was just to get me through the death throes of cancer, trying to keep me alive. And dexamethasone, I think it's called. Later on, they had me on 5 pills. I don't know if I took them every day, but early on it was 10 pills at a time. 10 pills. And I think dexamethasone, the standard dose, is 10 times entry-level steroids, corticosteroids, which are kind of like, I think they're kind of sort of. Like, remember, I take it one of those things, I couldn't go to sleep.
Yeah.
And they say that's often what causes.
Yeah, but it was funny because what had happened was James thought he was supposed to take all of the pills at once. We went to the doctor, and the doctor, like the oncologist, well, he wasn't an oncologist, was he? But he was acting as one here or something like that. Yeah, in Lethbridge.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
And he couldn't help it. He kind of laughed because James wasn't supposed to take them all at once. And that's why James couldn't sleep. He was just wired because he was supposed to take them, not all at once.
Maybe it was 10 per day. I don't know.
I don't know what it was, but you were taking way more than you were supposed to. And so he kind of laughed and adjusted you adjusted how you were taking it.
Okay. Anyway, when I was taking them in the hospital, I was taking 10 at a time. That was them rolling it out for me. And that guy wasn't an oncologist. He was the guy who was telling me.
No, well, that's different. Yeah. In the hospital, they're dealing with stuff out.
Yeah. So in the hospital, I couldn't go to sleep. So I was on a walker, and I'd be just walking around the hospital. That one particular doctor, he's a nice guy, not terribly bright. He was telling me, okay, I'm going to, after a certain point of time, for about 4 years, my first stem cell therapy, he's saying, okay, I'm only going to test you not monthly, but every other month. It looks as though you're free and clear. You've got, I think he was saying 6 to 10 years. And I'm going, well, that's different because that's what they give to people who don't have this mutant form that I've got. And mine should be less than that. And I was saying, it should be even less because I had such a good response to the stem cell therapy, to the initial thing they had me on Velcade. And I said, generally if you have a good response, they say quick response, you're actually more likely to have a relapse and come out of remission. And he said, nope, you're wrong, it's just the opposite.
Yeah, it's weird that
a month later or so, it was back.
Mm-hmm.
Who was right? You're looking at right here. And so the guy just wasn't that bright. He was a graduate of the University of Manitoba, and it's like about 400th of all the universities in the world. Whereas I qualified, I couldn't go because I got the cancer for the best in the world, the kind of stuff that I do. I'm not going to mention what it is, but it's very famous for medicine. It's on the East Coast. It's not Ivy League, but it's the best in the world at that particular study that I do, or it was about 10 years ago. These things go up and down, stuff like that. So, very famous for medicine, and it just showed who was. I shouldn't have to be slam dunking the doctors, and he's a specialist. Generally, the specialists have been way better than him. I've got a different doctor, but you shouldn't be.
So you'll notice I've been eating these. I cannot have any more because they're high in carbs. So they're for you now.
Okay. Anyway, maybe we spent too long on this, but get ready. It's a long movie and it's a downer. It's like being in a marriage with both of these guys.
Yep. And the whole time you're thinking, what's going to happen to the baby or whatever, right?
Yeah.
It's very stressful.
You worry about them because they seem to be not evil people or anything like that. They seem to be, have good motivations. It's just, she screwed up and he's just dumb. So, and not very sensitive. But,
no.
Okay. But
so,
oftentimes that comes with being
there's some great imagery and stuff in here. There's, the African-American man on the motorcycle, and he's the black horse.
Kind of like,
Yeah,
in
and then
her,
there's
I presume.
fantasy world,
Yeah, she's.
right?
I think he existed.
Because but I don't think he
not
had
in-
anything to do with her.
Yeah, exactly.
And the horse probably
There
didn't
might have
even
been a
exist.
horse.
There
or-
might be a horse, yeah, but it just not in
was
her
kind
fantasy
of like
world. It's in
telescope
just-
together with
Yeah.
this black guy.
And what else was there for imagery? I can't. Oh, her book and the trees.
Yeah, so spoiler alert, she ends up, looks like burning her book, but maybe in imagination, I don't know. But anyway, she ended up, spoiler alert, she ends up walking into a suicide, so.
Yeah.
It's like walking in the water, not knowing how to swim. Anyway.
But then this is a movie where you don't really know what's going on a lot of the time. You're trying to
Well,
piece
it's
it together
switching
because-
back and forth and stuff
and
like that. It makes it
because
harder
it's-
to watch, but what the heck?
You know, you're getting it from her perspective.
From
a
her
lot of it.
perspective.
And so
And the thing
can't
is,
trust her
when you
perspective.
exactly right. So my sister was worried that to the point where she was losing control of her bowel functions. She'd just be kind of almost like paralyzed, not physically but mentally, worrying about a doctor we knew in Africa who hung around before we were there, hung around an orphanage where my parents worked, and he examined the kids, their what is it they call a rectal examination?
yeah, creepy.
Way too frequently, stuff like that. He was
Yeah, like we used to go to this vet, and they were always doing that with our dog, and like every time we'd go in there, that was the common thing. Just and my dog didn't like it anyway.
Yeah.
So
well,
next
you don't do
movie.
that with kids. The guy was a creepazoid, but he would have been long
I think you do that with
dead
dogs either.
by
There's
the-
no reason to be up there all the time, Anyway,
he would have been long dead by the time my sister went schizophrenic. But so you're dealing with an alternate reality. So get ready. And apparently it's that way with manic depressive people if they go off the deep end.
okay, good luck, have fun, don't die. This was a lot of fun. I enjoyed watching it. It's they might have another, like a sequel to it. You don't know, right? The way it works out at the end, you're like, it's possible. And if they do, it might be enjoyable to watch. So, yeah, I didn't expect to like this. It's a good time. Even though it's long, 2 hours, 15 minutes.
How long was this first?
I don't know, you can look.
Oh,
So, The Man Who Killed Hitler and then The Bigfoot.
yeah.
This was actually pretty good.
I was surprised.
Yeah.
I gotta say.
The only problem that James and I really had with this movie,
And it's a big problem.
It's a big problem. Sam Elliott has a very deep voice,
Yeah.
and
It's very southern.
and
Thick,
particular sort of dialect, whatever. And what they should have done, they had him, like he plays the older man, and then the character as a young man is played by somebody else, of course. And they did manage to find somebody who looks similar.
Yeah.
So that's impressive.
Looked like a younger
But what they
version
should
of-
have done is dubbed in Sam Elliott's voice.
Yeah.
Because the guy's voice was not the same.
Yeah.
And
Totally
Not
different
at all.
accent. It sounded
So-
Midwestern American.
yeah, it didn't work out that way. Also, the Bigfoot looked a little silly, and not really
Yeah,
such a
like-
big foot.
Yeah, exactly right. They
Kinda-
shouldn't have
kinda
focused
little.
on him that much.
Human size. Maybe
Should have
even
just shown a
human size.
flash of fur or hair or whatever.
Yeah, because it really. But this was a little while ago, 2018, so maybe that accounts for the special effects a little bit.
Here we go.
So, but I would say it's enjoyable. It's good watch. Resident Evil Death Island. This was far better than like this one came from 2023. I watched one recently and reviewed it that was a more recent release, and this one was better. The special effect or the animation, I found this to be better. But they're working with the video game story more, I think, or at least maybe I just don't know where Resident Evil has gone with the video game, and maybe so I didn't recognize the story from that. Anyway. Excuse me. But yeah, the animation in this, top notch. Really, really, really good. And I like the story and stuff with Resident Evil. It's just, you have all these muscular people and they're fight 'em, you know, shoot 'em up kind of people, and it's like, well, if there was a T-virus and people were could easily get exposed to it and get sick and whatever and then pass it on, then why wouldn't they be using drones? Why would they be using humans to fight against, you know what I mean? Kind of silly. So the American Society of Magical Negros, this was better than I thought it would be. 1 hour 44 minutes. It plays like a TV show, not like a movie. So I expect that they could have more, if they wanted to, they could keep bringing out TV shows of this if they felt like it. But I don't think they will. There are some offensive things about this, but the idea is that these magical Negros, they help keep white people calm, because white people are the most dangerous people on the planet. And
that's what the movie's saying.
So I'm not saying that. So the magical Negros, they will notice when white people have, when they're, I don't know what they call it, like an unhappiness level or something, their discomfort level or something like that, when it goes up. And so then they help them out so that they feel more comfortable. And then, you know, it would potentially save lives of the
it's stunningly stupid, that thesis.
African-American lives.
In the United States, over 50% of the murders are committed by 13% of the population. Apparently, it's the same stat almost exactly in England. 13% over 50% of the population, or of the murders. And it's African, what do they call them? African English, people are African Americans. It's the opposite is true. Yeah? So it's a silly thesis, but I don't know. The acting wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
It was enjoyable to watch. So Stephen King's The Stand. The acting was bad. Maybe Stephen King, you know how he does cameos in his movies, he might have been one of the better actors in this.
He actually didn't do a bad job. You go, Stephen.
Yeah. So Molly Ringwald was in this. She didn't do a terrible job either.
No, but I don't think her acting is improved at all.
No.
No,
and I guess that's why she hasn't gotten the roles, because she's still that same quality of acting.
Pretty in Pink, was that her big?
Well, The Breakfast Club, she was in a lot of things.
There we go.
So, anyway, you can go ahead and talk about The Stand if you want to.
I don't have much to say. I think I enjoyed it more than you did.
I think you did.
I was going to say I really enjoyed it. I wouldn't recommend it. 5 minutes.
Yep. You're good at guessing these things. So, yeah, it was a silly idea, because what are they taking? They're going to take a stand against this bad, devil-y sort of guy. For why? They're just going to die. Oh, divine intervention saves the day. Who cares? So it's a silly sort of story.
They go out of their home base. You know, let him come to you.
Sure.
He was in Las Vegas. I mean, let Las Vegas go to the dogs. It already has, basically.
They had corn that was in full corn cobs and everything, just ready to harvest at the same time as the balsam arrowleaf was blooming.
Springtime, folks.
So
yeah,
some problems with the, I don't know. They just weren't.
Hollywood writers,
weren't trying
like,
hard
get a life. Read something and get some real jobs sometimes.
47 meters down. This has some cute girls. I couldn't get subtitles on it, and with the Blu-ray TV that I have, well, the TV that I have that hooks up the Blu-ray player I borrowed from the library. The TV doesn't have sound, or barely any sound, so I couldn't hear it. I was working out, and I thought, oh, who cares? No subtitles, no whatever. I still pretty much knew what was going on. There are a couple hysterical women, or young women, beautiful women, trapped underwater in one of those shark cages, and the cage has sank to the bottom of the ocean. And
which is bad enough, but then when they come up,
yeah, nobody has the bends or anything, but
okay.
They have beautiful. What made me put it above these other things was there's this one scene where you think the movie's going a certain direction, and then you see something. The girl holds up her hand, and you realize, oh, I know what's happened, right? And then she realizes what's happened, and it's really a beautiful scene. They did a great job on that, so that got it up there, even though, whatever. Primate, another movie. This is put out by guys, and it relies on, it's like a teenage girl slumber party gone horribly wrong, because they have this pet primate, which is actually believable in a way, that they would have this chimpanzee as a pet, because the mother had brought the chimpanzee home. He was her test subject or whatever. She was using him to study linguistics, and it makes sense because the husband is deaf, and it makes sense that she would be wanting to study this. Anyway, and then she dies, and we never meet the mother. She's dead before the movie starts, before this story starts, and so it makes sense that the family wants to hang on to this chimpanzee because it's their last link to the mother, right? And but it doesn't make sense that she would use a male chimpanzee, because I don't believe anybody would. That's crazy. And because they tend to be more violent and all that sort of stuff. So another thing wrong with this, the major thing wrong with this that I saw, the chimpanzee gets rabies from a goose.
Okay, you could happen.
Really?
I don't know.
I don't think
we haven't done the research yet.
I mean, you can get all sorts of diseases from birds, but
avian flu.
I don't think rabies is one of them.
Yeah, maybe
So,
not. How are you going to catch it? The goose would twist your flesh, and
well, you got a bite from the goose.
they basically twist your flesh.
Whatever you call it, fine. The goose, you got an injury. So the number station, John Cusack. Like John Cusack, don't like this movie. It was enjoyable enough to watch, lots of action while I'm working out, but it just didn't make sense. It's not a good story. There wasn't enough there.
He's not a gunplay kind of guy, and they've got him on waving a gun around.
Yeah. So anyway, you can talk about that if you want. I
think
can't
we're
imagine.
Out of time. Let's just check and see.
Okay. You have 34 seconds.
All right. So get ready, folks. Well, examine life. Shadows of Liberty. This is not a movie. I'll be reviewing those hopefully together one of these times. And maybe
how do you like those things?
they're kind of catchy.
Yeah, I know.
They
They're
got salt in
delicious.
them or whatever.
They're delicious. All right, so stay tuned next